fifth episode here on the Arsenal Career Mode, and here we'll get straight into it. We've got a game against Newcastle. We got only two games in this episode, just because we also got the transfer deadline day, and also as you'll see by the title, we got some big stuff coming through. You just have to wait and see what happens. So yeah, I started going through with the selling players, and I had a look. Obviously, at the end of last episode, there was obviously I put Walcott up for sale, but I thought just in case Walcott doesn't go through and nobody wants him, maybe I should put somebody like either Ox or Joel Campbell as well up for sale, just to make it more likely for somebody else to come in and buy them. Because obviously I've got the contract and everything sorted for Royce. However, I'm about 20 million off. So if I could sell Oxlade-Chamberlain or Walcott, one of the two, I will definitely be in a good driving spot to be able to get Royce, and yeah, hopefully that all goes well. Anyways, back to this Newcastle game. I decided to start a few, pretty much all the new transfers that we had from the last episode. So I'm pretty sure I'll bring Eriksen in. Either I have him start with, or else I sub him on later on. I think I actually did start him. But Ramsey, beautiful shot, almost went into the goal. Just didn't make it through. Marotta also playing this game. Sanchez out on the left, and so yeah. Anyways, I get a big shot there as well. Czech coming good again. Obviously, Czech really has kept us in a lot of these games. He always comes up with big saves, and really without him, we would not have drawn or won half the games that we have so far. Which I'm really thankful for, that we have such a great goalkeeper. Just as Walcott goes through and takes a shot, even though he's up for sale now, still coming up big when we need him, you know. So yeah, good work, Walcott. But anyways, yeah. So obviously in the last episode we got a lot of transfers coming through, and obviously we'll start using them more, especially with rotational play, just because obviously Arsenal are in both the Capital One Cup, FA Cup, just like pretty much every other English team, and also the Champions League. So they have a big, busy fixture. So even though, as you'll see on transfer deadline day, even though I've taken a lot of the players out of the squad, I still kind of feel like I've got enough players in the club to still be able to go through all those competitions. Obviously, we got dominated there by Newcastle. After I went that goal up, I pretty much didn't need to attack. I didn't feel like Newcastle had that attacking pressure on me. Before I even scored, that's kind of where the main drive for their attacking was from. And but after I scored, they didn't really have that much forward play, so I didn't really bother going forward at all. Saying from the possession and the shooting, obviously they had a lot of shots. Czech obviously coming up good. Player training, I think I got maybe 2 or maybe 3 player training in this episode. That first one obviously didn't do the best, a couple D's and an F, but yeah, we're still doing all right. Obviously got Bellerin. If I can get Bellerin up to 80 by maybe halfway through the season, I'll probably stop him. But yeah, anyways, after that game, I went straight away. I completely forgot that we actually were waiting on money to get Royce in, and I decided to go out and get another youth scout, which was just completely stupid. Youth scout obviously will come good for us, just because obviously we can bring in that young talent, and I wanted one from the start. But if we're wasting money like 4 million, obviously it's not as bad as before 14, where it used to be around 10 million or anything. But yeah, it obviously just took a bit of a blow out of our transfer budget that we had, which I was waiting for Royce to get, which I was a bit disappointed by it. But then it'll all work out, as we'll see. So we got our first kind of deal happening. On this last day, I wanted to still try and get out a few of the younger players, either on loan or selling them if they weren't good enough. I got a few of those deals happening. We get Alex Iwobi. He comes back a few times. Accrington didn't really want to bite at the first apple, but they'll come back. We still got that Royce still happening, and in the back of my mind also, I kept thinking that because it always takes a few days for a contract offer or something just to run out. Obviously, you have maybe a week or something to work it out. So I thought during this transfer window, I should be able to get away without having to put in a new transfer offer and stuff like that for Royce. but then some stuff happened. I'm pretty sure I had Flamini in the deal with Royce to begin with, and obviously later on, as you'll see, I decided to actually sell Flamini, which really messed me up, and I had to go back and you'll see that happening in a second. But we do get an offer for Theo Walker from AS Monaco. Decided to go 45 million, a lot more. He's in excellent form, so I really wanted to sell him obviously for a good price. Same with Flamini. I didn't want to be just selling him for under his value, even though I have transfer listed him and he's 31 years of age. I wanted to go over the value and by a decent amount as well, because obviously you don't get the whole amount of that value back when you sell him. So I want to try and make more money than what his value is for the club, as opposed to the owners that don't give you the whole thing. Theo Walcott doesn't, they don't accept for the 45 million, so I decided to just raise it, put it down a little bit, 43.5 million. Hopefully that goes well. We got Flamini obviously going through, and Flamini pretty much was the deciding vote in this whole transfer window. If I had not sold Flamini for that 4 million or so that I did, that youth scout that I bought would have ruined the whole deal for Royce, as you'll see going into it now. But at this point, because I got rid of Flamini, I had to put in a new offer for Marco Reus. Not only that, Marco Reus, we only had 3 hours left, and I put in the deal. 3 hours left, everything needed to go according to plan, and just as Theo Walcott got sold, I thought if I had lost Theo Walcott and did not bring in Marco Reus, everything would have just been crap for the first half of the season. I would have had all this money that I hadn't invested into a player that I was looking to invest. Marco Reus, obviously, looking back as well, I forgot to give him crucial first-team player at that point, and I was scared that he wasn't going to accept. However, he accepts in the last hour that we have of the transfer window. And boy, that was perfect. Obviously, we only have 2 million left, so like I said, that Flamini deal, had that not gone through, me buying that youth scout would have ruined this whole deal. But in the end, it all worked out. As well, after the first transfer window, obviously you guys know how it all works. There's always the pre-contract players that you want to start looking for, so that's why I've gotten to the scout instructions, got pre-contract players sorted, and I'll have a look through those players and add them to the shortlist. And when the next transfer window comes, I'll show you what I've got ready, and we'll see what we can do from there. Anyways, we're looking at the table now. 10 points, us, Chelsea, and Manchester United. Not only that, we've got a big Chelsea game coming up in the next few weeks as well, so that should be in the next episode. An offer from Egypt to take over them, which would have been nice. But I've decided not to do international management to begin with. If we get someone decent, maybe Australia or maybe England or something like that, maybe I might bring him in and just do some simulated games for that. Won't be playing those games. Obviously, we're focusing on Arsenal, but yeah, I'll definitely think about it. Not to begin with now, but yeah, brought in Callum Chambers for this game, and just because he asked to play, he played a few games and he asked why not give me a shot, so I gave him a shot. And to be honest, the only difference between him and Hector Bellerin was the pace. I love having that pace on the wing backs. That's especially why I brought in Jordi Alba just as we go in and score with I think that was Ramsey, if I'm not mistaken. No, sorry, Santi Cazorla. But I love the pace just because whenever I defend, I seem to always bring players forward, whether it's usually the left backs if they're running down the wing, or even if it's a centre back if they're running through the middle. I always bring that player forward, and most of the time miss that tackle, so I always have to track back and run. In this game, I did start defending a little bit better, I guess, and did start bringing them. Don't bring the player forward, but jockey, and it really worked with Hector Bellerin. Like if it came to defending stats itself, I have a feeling that that Bellerin probably wasn't as good as Chambers, just because Chambers really tracked well back and really got into a place where he supported the players. Just as we score a second goal. Great through ball from Sanchez, the triple tap of dreams, and we get a goal with Morata. Beautiful worked goal, and so yeah. Anyways, so yeah, Chambers did really well in this game. Looking back throughout the rest of the clips, we really had a lot of chances that we should have scored. Like it really shouldn't have ended 2-0 in my opinion from the opportunities that we had. As I constantly caught them on the break. Like obviously when I went 1-0 up /2-0 up, Stoke just started piling people forward, and you'll see in the next few clips, really had good opportunities. Didn't want to get him offside, but then a great tackle there, missed out an opportunity. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I'll leave you guys to it. Leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff on the channel. But yeah, you'll see see at the end also the stats as well. It looked like an even game, but yeah, it was a pretty easy game in my opinion against Stoke. So yeah, anyways, thanks again, guys, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.